Hello, welcome back to the Top Shelf Literary Editions. This is episode 42. I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you've been enjoying the books I've been sharing. My name is Ernest Whiteman III. I'm a Northern Arapaho filmmaker, artist, writer, and media educator. And we're taking a look at the top shelf of my book collection. I have a pre-selected book. I'll give you a short synopsis, a review if I've read it, and a reason why I purchased the book. And today's book is Orson Welles' last movie on the making of The Other Side of the Wind, which was his last directed feature. This one is by Joseph Karp, and this is a really insightful book into the mindset that Welles had while he was making The Other Side of the Wind. And The Other Side of the Wind was under the threat of being one of those great unfulfilled projects of Orson Welles, alongside his Don Quixote and I believe a film adaptation of Moby Dick. And Welles had so many film projects that he was working on. And the reason why I really enjoyed this book is that I'm a big fan of Orson Welles, of course, because like him, I am a huge megalomaniac and super egotistical about, my projects. But I also hope that I bring the same care and attention to detail that he did. And another reason why I sort of connect with him is that I too have several film projects in the work that I hope someday see it due to fruition. But what's interesting about this book is that he actually did complete shooting it. He just needed to find more funding to continue editing it. But by chance luck, the rights of the film went through several hands because he was trying to raise money. But what's interesting as well is that it doesn't take a rose-colored glasses look. Unlike the biographies of George Lucas and Bruce Lee, he doesn't sort of attack Orson Welles and try to give Welles credit to other people. But he does highlight the flaws in Welles' character, one being how he spent money, especially when he finally got funding for projects. A lot of the funding either went to things other than the film projects, or they went to feature film projects. But in essence, it was always Welles that sort of had a hand in self-destructing any one of his film projects. And that's something that I see as something to learn from. And unfortunately, the mythology of Other Side of the Wind is sort of no more. It was this grand film that was supposed to be his final epic, his last treatise on what he thought and felt about Hollywood filmmaking. Other Side of the Wind is about a banished old school filmmaker who returns to Hollywood to try to raise funds for his final feature film, but dies before the completion of it. And it was very prophetic in that sense, is that Orson Welles died before he could actually finish editing it together. And there's another documentary, The Love Me When I'm Dead, that sort of explores that maybe Orson Welles' actual final objective wasn't to so much complete The Other Side of the Wind, but to make it this mythological film that everybody talks about. And that's going to be the film. And again, that became very prophetic in that sense, is that everybody kept talking about and building up The Other Side of the Wind. That when Netflix finally got the rights and hired Peter Bogdanovich, Orson Welles' protege, to edit the film according to Welles' notes, I think it lost its mythical status of being a lost film, that everybody had these grand schemes in their head of what it looked like, how it was going to be edited together. And, all we had were these tantalizing snippets and photographs and clips of the film that, forever ingrained in us this myth of what The Other Side of the Wind was meant to be. And when it debuted on Netflix and when it did a theatrical run, I actually went to see it at the Great Gene Siskel Film Center and was pretty underwhelmed by it. Mainly because the editing style has been copied. Welles' editing style, especially in F for Fake, has been copied over and over and over again. And so we're so used to that quick cut sort of MTV aesthetic. But it was also, if it did come out when he wanted it to come out, would have been one of the first found footage films. And now that that genre has been run into the ground, it did seem a lot overwhelming. But this book was really instrumental in me gaining some insight into why it was that he was never able to complete it. And again, it doesn't attack or belittle Orson Welles, but it does point out his character flaws. And I think that's what a good biography should do. So I would highly recommend this over Bruce Lee, A Life, or George Lucas, a memoir, or a biography, or because this is how you do a really good, well-researched, well-balanced representation of your subject as well. And I just, again, I'm a big fan of Orson Welles and is an inspiration to me in my own filmmaking. And Orson Welles' last movie, The Making of Other Side of the Wind by Joseph Karp, is on the top shelf for today. And again, thank you for joining me. I hope you've been enjoying these. I'll catch you next time.